welcome to this video. We're going to discuss some basic principles about conductivity and electrical cabling. What is the difference between a cable, a conductor, and insulation? A cable can consist of multiple of conductors, and insulation is the electric material that is used to prevent the conduction between multiple cables. In this in this picture, you can see the conductor is the copper wire, while the insulation is the shield around every copper wire, while the cable is the outer shield or that contains multiple conductors and insulators. Termination. Termination is like the physical connection of a conductor to connecting hardware in order to make it a useful connection. So to connect the copper wire to a hardware is called termination. Splice. When joining conductor, uh, meant to be permanent, and you want to extend the range and the length of the conductor or the cable, so you need to do splices along the cable to extend its length. Connectivity. Connectivity when you connect the cable to a patch panel, optical fiber cabling and connectors. This is called the connectivity. Optic Optical fiber is a transmission medium, while optical fiber cable is the assembly that is made of two or more one or more strands of glass containing central core and outer cladding. So in this photo you can see that a fiber strand, it may be glass or plastic, and surrounded with a fiber cable. This is the outer coating of the fiber optical fiber medium. Otherwise, if you don't want to use cables, you can use wireless connection, where according to the medium, it is not permissible to use cables, or you want to transfer data long ways, so we use wireless connection. Wireless uses radiated electromagnetic energy traveling through free space to convey information. So, in connections, in you have passive equipment and active equipment. Passive equipments like the roads in which information can travel, uh, while active equipments like the destinations which sends or receives the information. So passive equipments include cables, jacks, cable management equipment racks, while active equipment includes transmitters and receivers, routers, switches, multiplexers, media converters. One of the standards that is used in communication is the TIA AIA standards. It makes you gives you overview about proper labeling, color coding, cable terminations, performance specifications. One of the most famous standard is the TIA EIA 568 standard. Labeling. You may find the labeling like this: 2B ADO 0 AD 02 3205. 2B is the second floor and room B. AD02 is the grid location within the left room for a cabinet or rack. You can find the grid location like this, where X coordinates and Y coordinates. So the AD02 is located up here. AD on the X axis and 02 on the Y axis. You can find your uh, located rack. So the 32 is the location inside the rack. Here is a quiz. The length of the cable or media installed is often called the span. Span is the length of the cable. What are the type of copper cables? You can find a coaxial cable. There are two types, coaxial cable and Utb cables. Coaxial cables consists of a core of copper, a dielectric material, a foil shield, braid shield and outer jacket. What is used in the indoor voice cables is that it contains two terminals only. One is called the ring and the other is the tip. The telephone cables indoor voice cables are used in telephones, fax machines, buzzers and bells. The second type of copper cables are unshielded twisted pair cables, UTB cables. You can find it as a multiple pairs of cables like this with outer shields. They are categorized in different categories. You can find category 2. It can send speeds up to 4 megabytes per second. Category 3 sends up to 10 megabytes per second. Category 4 sends 16 megabytes per second. Category 5 sends from 10 megabytes to a maximum of 100 megabytes per second. Category 5E sends about 2.5 gigabytes per second. Category 6 sends up to 5 gigabytes Ethernet per second. Category 6A sends up to 10 gigabytes Ethernet per second. Some copper cables, twisted pair copper cables, UTB cables, are called BOE, Power over Ethernet, where you have two pair of cables to send data communication and the other two pairs to send power. What are the types of insulation and jackets? You have a PVC, riser, platinum rated, hard usage. A PVC is a plastic jacket covering that protects the cable and holds pairs together. A riser is a PVC jacket but it has another feature, it's a flame resistance. Platinum rated, used in ceiling areas in offices. Hard usage, an overall jacket made of a hard plastic material. Jacks and plugs. These are the jacks and plugs, kinds of terminals that you can connect your cable to a hardware. Cable conductors, connected to metallic contacts through a process called punch down. Demarcation enclosures like patch panels. UTB tests are typical tests. Wire map, also known as continuity, length, insertion loss, propagation delay, delay skew, near end crosstalk. Crosstalk is the kind of attenuation that is made by um, electrical devices around the connecting wire. Power sum near end crosstalk. For reference, here we find the fiber optic cables. There are two types of fiber optic cables, a single mode with core 9 micrometers, while multi-mode fiber has two sizes, 62.5 or 50 micrometers. As you can see that the multi-mode fiber has a wider diameter than the single mode fiber. Here is the internal construction of a fiber optic cable. Contains of a core that is glass of plastic cladding that prevents the light source from reflecting outside the cable. Strength buffer, strength member and platinum or PVC jacket. What is the difference between single mode and multi-mode? Single mode, medium to long distances, can go for miles. better light carrying properties because it has a narrow core that makes light traveling in straight lines. The multimode has a larger core where bouncing lights occurs, used for specialty applications and shorter lenses. What are the sizes? What are the numbers means? 50 over 125. It means that the core is 50 microns. That means it's a multi-mode fiber optic cable with cladding is 125 microns. 8 over 125. That means the core is 8 microns. That means it's a single mode fiber optic cable, and the cladding diameter is 125 microns. Cable jackets classification. You can have the same as the copper cable jackets. PVC, riser, platinum, hard usage. Jacket color schemes. You can The orange is for the multi-mode fiber optic cable, yellow for single mode, aqua is for 1 gigabyte per second laser optimized 550 micron OM3 multi-mode fiber. Blue is for polarized maintaining single mode fiber. Connector or terminations, same as for copper cables. These are the type of cable connectors and terminals for fiber optic cables. What are the fiber optic light sources? It can be LED, light emitting diode, or a laser called vertical cavity surface emitting laser, VCSEL. Cable must be laser optimized. The Internet of Things, what best describe it? It can connect any device, anybody, anywhere, any business, any network at any time. What is the kind of a short quiz? What is the kind of test? You are testing the light power of an optical fiber cable with meters on both sides. Which test? It is the optical loss test. An installer uses the test by injecting light into the cable and then measuring the level of light power in the cable with the meters. What test of instrument analyzes an optical fiber strand by sending light through the fiber and the measuring amount of light? The OTDR is ideal for finding failures in strands. Thank you for watching and wait for the next video.